All right, hello to you. We made it to a Friday. Happy Friday. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade. It is time to scan the tropics and see if we have anything to worry about. We are getting close to the end of October, so after that, one more month of the 2025 Atlantic Basin hurricane season, and then it's a wrap. We can say adios, goodbye until next year. So let's hope we continue to skirt through this without much happening for the Texas Gulf Coast. Of course, we will continue to have the potential for development, but as of now, no tropical depressions, no tropical storms, no hurricanes for Houston or the Texas Gulf Coast so far this season. So it's been a quiet season. Of course, Houston hit by Hurricane Beryl last year on July 8th. Some people are still recovering from that, getting their roofs fixed or other damage. So it's good. It's been quiet. However, across other parts of the Atlantic Basin, of course, including the Atlantic Ocean, Caribbean Sea, the Gulf, we have had some action. So since the beginning of the season, it's been 13 named storms, starting off with Tropical Storm Andrea, then Barry, Chantal, Dexter, going to Aaron, that grew to a monster Category 5. Then we had Fernan, Category 4, Hurricane Gabrielle, Umberto, which was our second major Cat 5 hurricane of the season, and then Category 2 Imelda, Jerry, Karen, Lorenzo, and Melissa. The last four systems have only grown to tropical storms. However, we are expecting Melissa to blow up to a major hurricane likely by early next week, very close to Jamaica. And at this point, no signs that we have to worry about Nestor anytime soon. So that is some good news. However, we have had 13 named storms, 4 of those becoming hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes, so we're very close to our average numbers and creeping a little closer to the Colorado State University prediction back from July. So here's what you need to know for the tropics today. Tropical Storm Melissa is our one system out there, and it continues to churn very close to Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Jamaica. We currently have tropical storm warnings out now for Jamaica and for southern parts of Haiti, and these same spots are under hurricane watches. We're talking about maybe a foot of rain over the next 3 or 4 days for parts of Jamaica, Dominican Republic, even into parts of Haiti, and eventually eastern portions of Cuba. So big time flood risk, the risk for mudslides, and also the risk for some damaging wind. This thing is expected to blow up to a Category 4 hurricane by next week. So winds over 100 miles per hour can't be ruled out for Jamaica and also for parts of Haiti and eastern Cuba. Melissa is expected to move very slowly with weak steering currents, so it's bad news for Jamaica. Right now, the models are kind of coming together a little bit more. They were all over the place the last few days as to where this thing is headed, but models are now taking this directly into Jamaica by early next week, likely by Tuesday afternoon. So currently, Tropical Storm Melissa has 65 mile per hour maximum sustained winds. Pressure now dropping because it's getting stronger, 995 millibars, and it's barely moving. It is crawling towards Jamaica, and it is going to continue to barely move over the weekend, finally pick up a little bit of speed as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. But you will notice it is a major hurricane by the end of the weekend, likely a Category 4 by Monday, and rolling into central portions of Jamaica, likely by Tuesday afternoon, and then pushing over eastern Cuba by Wednesday afternoon. So that's 2 major locations that could get slammed by Melissa. By that time, it will be major Hurricane Melissa for Jamaica, and then still a Category 2 hurricane for parts of Cuba. So there are your watches and warnings. We've got tropical storm warnings out that include all of Jamaica. You could see the Haiti Peninsula there, including Port-au-Prince under tropical storm warnings, and they're also under hurricane watches because Melissa is expected to intensify as we go through the weekend. In fact, by Sunday and Monday, rapidly intensify. All right, you can see our Fox Weather tropical model showing that well-defined eye and showing it really rolling right over the Jamaica area. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, heavy rain into eastern Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic getting in on some of that rain, but you can see that well-defined circulation there and just a ton of rain and a lot of wind as well, especially by Monday and Tuesday. GFS Futurecast also has Jamaica and Haiti, at least the southern tip of Haiti, definitely in the path of Melissa. As you can see, it is spinning there, barely moving, starting to crawl closer to Jamaica, and it is right over Jamaica by 5 a.m. Monday, going a little bit more into the future, Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday. Quickly rolls over the eastern tip of Cuba, and it finally gets picked up by a trough or dip in the jet stream, and it gets carried away by Wednesday evening. Notice it never gets close to the U.S., so we don't have to worry about it in the Gulf. We don't have to worry about it for the east coast of the U.S. either. So this is our only system. We are still looking to see if anything else could develop. We're still monitoring that Central American gyre, that large circulation or area of low pressure over Central America that could occasionally spin off some tropical waves and could turn into something stronger. But at this point, it's not really doing a whole lot in the Gulf or the Western Caribbean. We do, though, have a new tropical depression in the eastern Pacific, so I'll show you that in just a minute, but it is not heading towards Mexico or the U.S. It is moving west. So we've still got very warm water temps for the Gulf, for the Western Caribbean, for the Western Atlantic in the 80s. So if we could get something going, maybe a little low developing along a stalled out frontal boundary or something else happening, there would definitely be enough fuel for these systems to develop, but we just don't see anything. So the Gulf is quiet, and we don't see anything popping up now near the Yucatan Peninsula either. So this is our new tropical depression 18E. It is in the east central Pacific, but it is moving west, so it's moving away from Mexico, and it's not going to get anywhere close to the Gulf or to the U.S. So it's not going to be a problem. It's just going to spin out there. It could get a little bit stronger over the next few days, and then it falls apart and it remains a fish storm out over the open water. So we got a few days left in this month, and we are going to have the potential for maybe some additional development, possible to likely chance for the Gulf, for the Caribbean, for the Western Atlantic. However, as we go into November, things will certainly start to get lower as far as development potential. So for November, the remainder of storms tend to be near the Caribbean or the Central Atlantic Ocean. Notice the yellow shading taken out of the Gulf. Our chances for the Gulf in November, extremely low. I don't think we've ever had a hurricane landfall for the Texas Gulf Coast in November. So we're monitoring things closely. There's still going to be a chance, but we have really skated through this hurricane season for Houston and the Texas Gulf Coast without being lashed or slammed with any of these tropical systems. So it's a good thing, but still you want to be alert and remember that it's not over until it's over. So we've still got a ways to go. We are getting closer to the end of the month. We've still got one more month left in our hurricane season once we get to November, and of course hurricane season officially ends November 30th. So we'll keep tracking it for you. Of course, we'll give you an update on Melissa, but if you've got cruise plans, if you're flying to Jamaica, or if you have a cruise stop right around Jamaica, there will certainly be some issues, major delays, cancellations. So keep checking back, as Melissa is expected to grow into a powerful major hurricane over the weekend. We'll have much more Texas Live and Local after this.